There's a reason no one makes videos like me, because no one wants to live the life I live or be in my head. They would be miserable.
Are you happy?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. So far, more unhappy than happy.
Well, has it ever crossed your mind to quit YouTube as a whole?
Oh yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh boy.
He is the biggest YouTuber on the planet.
And he's building empires. I mean, is there anything this man can't do?
Your business empire is much bigger than most people realize.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 26 and we have the largest YouTube channel in the world. And Beast Games is gonna shatter some pretty crazy records. And we do 9 figures in Feastables. But a lot of that stems from being a very confused child that's not fitting in, that feels like a freak. Plus, I really wanted to take care of my mom because when I was 11, we literally went bankrupt and lost everything. Luckily, it worked out. And it's because I'm really good at obsessing over one thing more than anyone else on the planet. Like, I lost tens of millions of dollars on these games. But it's about making season 1 as good as possible. And I just really love solving complex problems. Like, how many kids do you think are in child labor in West Africa, just on cocoa farms? It's 1.5 million. And so with Feastables, we were trying to get over 1 million kids out of child labor. But the ironic part is the more I help people, the more I get. Like, I've read over 5,000 messages telling me to kill myself. I mean, there's definitely times where I would cry, but if my mental health was a priority, I wouldn't be as successful as I am. This is the price you have to pay.
But when is enough enough?
Honestly,
This has always blown my mind a little bit. 53% of you that listen to this show regularly haven't yet subscribed to the show. If you like the show and you like what we do here and you want to support us, the free, simple way that you can do just that is by hitting the subscribe button. Jimmy, we've really just only met, and you are already, to me, a bit of a Rubik's Cube.
okay.
In so many ways. And I've been trying to piece the pieces together to understand the uniqueness of you, because you're so unbelievably unique. We just drove over here in the car, and hearing you speak about the way that you view life and speaking to you yesterday on the phone, I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people, and I've never ever met someone who has
Wow.
the perspective on life that you have. You are truly unique. What do I need to understand about your earliest years to understand who you are?
Oh boy. Yeah, my earliest years, I'm just stubborn, man. I just never give up. I mean, there's no world where I ever would have quit. I mean, if we're just jumping right into it, it's a great, no intro or anything, just boom. That's how you hold people. When I was 11, I just said, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to die trying. And I meant it. And there was like, even if no one still watches my videos to this day, I would still be going. And so people hate it, but I'm just the most competitive, stubborn person you'll ever meet. And I just never give up.
And where did that come from?
I have no idea, to be honest. Honestly, it feels like it was just in my DNA and my bloodstream. My mom hated it growing up. We'd always argue, and like, you know, she has this thing where like once Jimmy sets his mind to something, he just never stops. And it would always piss her off because when it was YouTube and she wanted me to be studying or things like that. But I really don't know. It's just always been how I am. And I think a lot of people have these weird tendencies and they tend to like try to like unlearn them. And like I had phases in my life where I was like, am I too extreme? Like people are very intimidated by me because I just am so obsessed with work and I'm so all in, and like, is this like unhealthy? Should I try to be more like a normal human? And especially when I was a teenager, it's a lot easier. It's funny when you're making lots of money, it's like admirable, it's respectable. It's like, look, those are traits we want. But when you're not successful, you know, you're a lunatic when you have all these traits. And so back then I'd occasionally be like, man, like, should I try to be more normal? But I just could never do it. Anytime I tried to, I mean, I've mentioned this before, but one of the like things that like I have a memory of that like really is burned in my brain is like people one time, like a high schooler told me when I was in middle school, like, all you do is talk about YouTube. Like, do you like know how to do anything else? Like you're just like a freak. And I tried to like watch South Park, you know, because that's what a lot of people in my school watch to fit in. And I just couldn't. I was like, this is such a waste of time. I could be working right now. And I tried to do all these things to like fit in. And I eventually just like stopped talking because I just didn't relate to anyone. And people used to call me mute. Like one of my teachers literally asked like if I was mute, like, cause that's how little I spoke, because no one in the school I went to was entrepreneurial or wanted to build businesses. And I just didn't want to do anything else. And yeah, eventually I started to succeed, found other lunatics, and now life's great. But you know, I like to tell this story when I'm on podcasts, because if you have a younger viewer who's in that same spot, you're not the problem. It's your environment, and you just got to put yourself in a better environment.
What about your parents, mum and dad? You talk about your mother a lot.
Yeah. No, I don't. I didn't get it from them.
Well, what influence did they both have on you?
Um, well, I don't really talk about my dad much. That's, a long story. Don't need to get into it. But my mom, honestly, it wasn't it's great now. Me and my mom have a phenomenal relationship, but on the come up, it was pretty rough because in 2008 they were over leveraged. So we literally went bankrupt. And so they had properties that they used to get other properties. And then when everything collapsed, they lost basically everything. And so my mom was working two jobs and, barely getting by. And so I didn't see her that much because when I was coming home from school, she was doing her second job. So it was a lot because she was a single mom raising us. She's working all the time. I don't talk about a lot of this. I have Crohn's disease, so I was very sick growing up. My brother also had issues as well. And so, we're not the healthiest kids in our teenage year. She's just trying to get by and take care of us. And then, she comes home and she just has this brat that's being annoying and like, I want to be a YouTuber. And she's just begging me. Sometimes she would literally cry and beg me to do homework. And I mean, I was like, I didn't mean it in a mean way, but I mean, even one time I literally told her, if you want my homework done so bad, why don't you just do it? Like that's what I told my mom. Like, what am I doing? I don't know. Like, I was just like, I don't care. Like, I just want to be successful. I want to build businesses. And so it was like, bless her heart. Luckily it worked out. So now I spoil her. She's great. She has her second home. Anything she could ever want, she has. And so the first thing I did was start paying my mom, take care of her once I started making money, because she gave everything to like get me where I am. And I wouldn't be where I am now, but it was like me and her spoke different languages when I was younger. She didn't want me to end up like them, and get screwed and not have much money. And like the path I was going down was just basically like, oh, I'm gonna be a homeless drug addict. And like her brain couldn't compute the world I saw, and my brain couldn't compute the world she saw, and it was constant friction.
Who was looking after you then? If she was busy working and you were at home and your dad's not around, who
Yeah.
takes care of you?
I just me and my brother, we were just there. I was just making videos.
You're making videos.
Yeah.
What age did that start, the videos?
I started at 11.
11.
Yeah. So I'm 26 now. I can't really remember life before YouTube. Like my earliest memories are basically when I started making videos.
You said earlier you don't talk about your dad much.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me about it, but why don't you talk about your father much?
Don't worry about it.
I know your mum has spoken about him before,
Yeah.
and it was a bit of a tumultuous relationship.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't have the best relationship. I mean, that's a topic for another day. Honestly, kind of a sour way to start it off, but yeah, my mom is great. I love my mom.
She used to cry asking you to do your homework.
A lot of things. She would cry because I wouldn't put money away. When we started making money, she thought it was too risky. And I mean, the thing is, nothing she would say was unreasonable, right? Looking back at it, she was perfectly reasonable in what she was doing. I'm just a deranged lunatic and was way too obsessed with building the business and way too all in. It's very cute. One time she, like, when we had, I don't remember, like some month where made like $100,000, and I'm like, okay, perfect. Now I can spend $100,000 this next month on videos. And she like took like 5,000 of it and put it away for me in my own bank account without telling me. But in case, I ever went, was over leveraged or went bankrupt like they did. And I found out about it. And she's like, please don't take this money. Just let me set aside anything. Stop spending everything on videos. And I was like, no, this is perfect. Now I can spend more. Like, this is awesome. Thank you, Mom. And like, but to me, I don't really feel risk. Like, if anything, it like risk excites me, and like I have very high threshold for it. So yeah, we literally weren't communicating the same language. But I don't remember what age it was. But eventually, after I took enough risks and figured it out, my mom just said to me, you know what? I'm gonna trust you. Like, I have faith, and everything got so much better after that point when like she stopped staying up all night worrying about me and worrying whether or not I was making the right decision. When she's just like, Jimmy, I trust you. I know this. You think about this all day. Like, I'm gonna just follow your lead, and our relationship has been, perfect ever since then.
If I'd asked 10-year-old Jimmy, how are you doing? What would he have said?
10, I don't know. But if you asked me at like 12 or 13, I probably would have been like, fuck, like no one watches my videos. I just really want to be a YouTuber. I gotta make this work.
Why did you want to really be a YouTuber? Because kids say that,
Yeah.
but the extent to which you said it and the focus that you had on that particular goal of being a YouTuber, because there's many things you could have focused on. You could have been a video game player or whatever, but YouTube is a particularly interesting thing because you're on camera, people are seeing it, there's a metric which decides how successful you are. Was there any element of the on-camera part that was helping to solve for like the feeling of isolation that you seemed to have at that time?
No,
Was there community?
Yeah, I think it's more to do with just I found out that when I was at a young age, probably around 11, that there were YouTubers that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and I was just like, oh, that's it. Like,
So it's the money.
yeah, of course, because back then we didn't have money, and I really wanted to take care of my mom and just my family in general. So it was like everything. It was like, this is what I love doing. I've never had as much joy doing something as I do this. Plus, I could see a path where I could actually retire my mom, take care of her, pay her back for, you know, all the nights she worked so long, so we could live comfortably and things like that. So it's just kind of, the thing is, one thing that irks me is when people try to like put someone's motivation into like one little bucket. Like, we're very complex creatures, and like, you know, you have a girlfriend. I would never say, oh, you just like her because she's pretty, but you like her because she's pretty, but you probably also like her because she's smart. You probably also like her because, you know, she's fun to be around. She likes similar shows, blah, blah. You probably, if we sat here for 10 hours, you could probably give me 1,000 reasons why you like your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's very annoying when people try to put why you like doing a certain job or building a certain business into one bucket. Oh, you just do it because of money. What if I do it because I like money and I enjoy it, and it's a way to do this, and it's a way to communicate with people and community and these other things, you know what I mean? And I think that's a common flaw we try to do. It's like, it's not that simple.
I think it's a lot of people can't understand someone being so relentlessly focused on something with the level of like commitment and sustained commitment that you've shown.
Yeah.
And so,
And I don't know how
You know what I mean?
I agree, because it's very weird, like how, like, I have extreme obsession to the point where like I just think about stuff the same. Like, for me, it's much easier to think about something 16 hours a day for 7 days straight than it is like to like gear shift constantly. I'm like really good at just obsessing over one thing more than anyone else on the planet. If I were to say what's my superpower, it's that I can just obsess endlessly about something, and I can just have the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. It's very weird. Like, it wasn't like it was work for me grinding YouTube for those 10 years or whatever where no one was really watching it. It's just like kind of who I am.
it would have had to have been a deep obsession because you were doing it when no one was really watching or paying attention, or really when the platform was.
There was literally a day when I was 19 or 20 where I woke up, joined a Skype call with my friends, and where we like were reverse engineering, you know, why certain videos do well or whatever. And I remember that call being over 18 hours long. And then I hung up, went to bed, woke back up the next day, and instantly got back on the call and picked back. Like, that was the level of like hours we were putting in. I mean, I didn't know anything besides just trying to make it happen.
Was there anything else that you showed that level of obsession to?
So at that age, no. I would say from 11 to 15, it was a mix of YouTube and baseball. But when I turned 15, I got Crohn's, and I went from like 190 pounds down to 139. I lost all the muscle I had, and so I was like, all right, I'm not playing baseball in college anymore. So then I was like, fuck it, it's just all in on YouTube, and then up until really Feastables, it was basically just YouTube. For whatever, I never thought I would find like this kind of love for I thought it was specifically video making, but I have found over like the last 2 or 3 years, just in general, I just enjoy entrepreneurship, and I've been really deeply loving getting like obsessed with Feastables and other things. And so, which was very weird. Like, when I first started a chocolate company, it was like kind of a side thing for changing industries.
When is enough enough? Such a cliche question that I'm asked a lot.
Enough like building the business? Never. I mean, I just want to keep like building a business is like a video game. It's just fun, you know? Like with Feastables right now, you know, we're the largest ethically sourced chocolate company in America. And like, it's just fun to like look at something that's been done the same way for 100 years and go, how do we just flip this on its head and fuck up this industry? And, you know, how can we pay our farmers a living income, you know, not use child labor, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's like, you know, I think if I was just doing mundane things like everyone else, I probably would be bored as fuck. If I would just sold chocolate like everyone else, made the same repetitive YouTube videos like everyone else, I probably would be like, all right, get me out of this. I want to retire. But it's not what we're doing. Like, we're changing industries. We're impacting the world. Like, this is the point of life, in my opinion.
You'd like start almost any business and it be successful. You could have almost any social impact and it be profound and save a gazillion people's lives. Do you struggle with focus?
No, I mean, I do wonder, sometimes should we be doing more, but I've really found a good groove with Feastables. I keep looking over there because there's Feastables sitting over there. I do feel like I've hit a good groove with that and the ethical sourcing on it. And no, I mean, yeah, obviously I get a bajillion opportunities, but just, right now I think I said earlier, this is one of the few things in life that it's scratched the same itch as YouTube, where building Feastables is equally as fun as making videos for me.
It is so delicious.
Thank you.
It's so delicious. I'd really love to just spend a moment talking about the ethical sourcing piece, because I don't think that's something I didn't understand until I did some research on you.
Yeah.
Why? Why does that matter so much? And when you say ethical sourcing, what's the difference between what you do and what normal chocolate companies do?
Big chocolate in America. Well, the big thing is when I got into chocolate, I didn't know any of these things. We used to source our cocoa from Peru, cacao, which, ethical sourcing is not really an issue there. But the problem is majority of the world's cocoa comes from West Africa. And so as we got bigger, everyone's like, hey, you need to switch your supply chain to West Africa. I'm like, cool. And so then I started studying and reading up about it. And I noticed that 46% of labor in West Africa on cocoa farms is child labor. And I was like, that can't be accurate. And then I started digging deeper and deeper, and I was like, holy shit, it's just almost half of labor is child labor. And so I started talking to all the big chocolate companies, or not all of them, but as many as I could get a hold of. And I was like, so what do you guys do about this whole child labor thing? And they're constantly just telling me, like, it just is what it is. That's how chocolate always has been. And I was like, whoa, you guys make like $1 billion a year in profit. You don't see an issue with that being on the back of little kids? And they're like, no. And then I have this crazy clip on. I would just sold chocolate like everyone else, made the same repetitive YouTube videos like everyone else. I probably would be like, all right, get me out of this. I want to retire. But anything, you're making it faster. But no, I mean, I don't think there's ever unironically a time where I actually would have quit. It just breaks probably would have been nice.
And when you think forward at that treadmill, can you see yourself doing it for the next 2, 3, 4 decades? Or?
Oh yeah, of course. I don't have any intention of ever stopping.
Okay. Love. Something that came into my life a couple of years ago.
Yep.
You announced, I think over Christmas time, that you had proposed. I think it was like Boxing Day or New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was on Christmas Day. Yeah,
oh, Christmas Day.
Because her family was in town, so I proposed. Yeah.
Okay. How does that fit into this craziness?
She's literally, you could probably count on your hands the amount of people on the planet that actually would make a good partner for me. And she's just one of them. She really understands that work is what I live for, what keeps me going. And she supports me and she understands how important it is. And it's the big thing is hanging out with Tia, my fiance, is so frictionless. We play the same video games. We watch the same shows. We're very interested in the same things. She loves learning like I do. So, it's exciting to see what, lecture she listened to online that day, or like whatever weird book she's reading. And she just like, everything about being around her is very frictionless, which is great because like, obviously I don't have much time at the house. And so like the last thing that I need is to come home from work and there be friction. And so we don't fight. I sometimes I'm like, wow, this is like my best friend. And she's,
I'm just who I am. Have you, are you in any way neurodivergent?
I've been told, yeah, by a doctor I have ADHD. I mean, I'm not surprised because I just sit and obsess over things constantly, but I think, I'm happy with however my brain is wired. I don't really care to change it. I like I said, I think one of my greatest superpowers is my obsession, and I think some people would view that as a weakness. But I just like, if you just think about solving problems 3 times more than everyone else, like you're bound to come up with different solutions.
That's one of the things you mentioned earlier. You like solving hard problems consistently.